research.
Sorry.
I tried to go back on my computer. Something's still wrong with my video. Okay, please continue. I will go back on my phone again. I'm so sorry. I don't understand why it all of a sudden isn't working.
Traditional patterns used in carving were often inspired by the natural environment, including spiderwebs, fish scales, and unfurling fronds of fern. Tools used in Maori wood carving include whalebone, whale ivory, and New Zealand jade, also called greenstone from the New Zealand's South Island.
Oh, thank you, Maitri. Okay, I will read it the way we would read it here in America.
Yes, ma'am.
Wood carving has played an important and respected role in Maori culture since before the first people arrived in New Zealand aboard their fleet of ocean-going canoes. Maori wood carving focuses on using native timbers, which means the trees, particularly wood from the giants of the forest, the kauri and the totara. Each carving tells a story and records a piece of history. Maori carvings use common symbols and patterns, though styles differ between tribes. Traditional patterns used in carving were often inspired by the natural environment, including spider webs, fish scales, and the unfurling fronds of the fern. Tools used in Maori wood carving include whalebone, whale ivory, and New Zealand jade, also called greenstone, from New Zealand's South Island. Okay, next slide, please. Oh,
And
that's kind of, yes, please.
in the National Stone and Bone Carving School, students learn the tradition of carving bone, stone, and pounamu.
You got it. Nice.
Pounamu, New Zealand jade, or greenstone. This school trains
Maori
from tribals applications for this school must be male over 17 years of age and of Maori descent. A limited number of students are selected each year. Successfully, students will receive a scholarship to cover living expenses. There are no course fees or a qualification. This course of study lasts for 2 years and is approximately
you got it.
40 hours per week, 47 weeks of the year. Like the wood carving school, students study the on site all throughout New Zealand and overseas.
Very nice. That was great reading. Thank you. In the National Stone and Bone Carving School, students learn the tradition of carving bone, stone, and paunamu, New Zealand jade or greenstone. This school trains Maori from tribes. Applicants for this school must be male, over 17 years of age, and of Maori descent. A limited number of students are selected each year. Successful students will receive a scholarship to cover living expenses. There are no course fees for this qualification. This course of study lasts for 2 years and is approximately 40 hours per week, 47 weeks of the year. Like in the wood carving school, students study and carve on site throughout New Zealand and overseas. Next slide. Who's next? Again, I'm on my little phone, so I'm not seeing who would be next.
Now we have Shivansh and Maitri.
Oh, okay. Madri, you want to do this one?
Yes, ma'am. Students are taught to care using ancient and modern methods. Here, a student carves stone with an electronic tool. Traditionally, bone carvings were made from the moa, a native flightless bird, or from a stranded whale. As these resources ran out, European introduced animals like pigs, deer and cattle were used in their place. The school has an art gallery where visitors can view beautiful artwork created by graduated students of the school. Items are also available for purchase. The prices were much too high for me to purchase anything. There was a beautiful carved bone hairpin that costs $990 and a carved wooden food serving bowl that cost $8,500.
That is a lot of money. They were beautiful though. Students are taught to care using ancient, oh, that's supposed to be carve. I'm missing a V. That's supposed to be students are taught to carve using ancient and modern methods. Here, a student carves stone with an electric tool.
Mm.
Traditionally, bone carvings were made from the moa, a native flightless bird, or from stranded whale. As these resources ran out, European introduced animals like pigs, deer, and cattle were used in their place. The school has an art gallery where visitors can view beautiful artwork created by graduated students of the school. Items are also available for purchase. The prices were much too high for me to purchase anything. There was a beautiful carved bone hairpin that cost $990 and a carved wooden food serving bowl that cost $8,500. To me, that's a crazy amount of money to pay for a bowl that I serve my meal in, but it was definitely very beautiful.
Yes, like in Indian price, I think $990 are around 82,400 something.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay, next slide.
Oh, antics.
Okay, who's there?
I think Shivansh is also there.
Shivansh, you want to read this one, please?
Yes, ma'am. Students also carry the material called
Carve.
material. What's that?
Carve.
Carve.
Now,
Carve. Students also carve.
carve
Carve.
Cra-
Carve.
Carve.
You got it. That's it. Carve. Good.
Students also carve a material called resin that
Resin.
is for resin.
Resin.
Resin
Uh,
that
car-
is
Go ahead.
that is formed in a model filled
Filled.
with a with a liquid synthetic substance that is then hardened. Resin is a lightweight, durable material that can be painted and
Oops. I guess I got too far into the lower margins. It was supposed to be painted and glazed. So even though it's the stone and bone carving school, they also teach them to use this substance called resin. So they make these molds. You can see the molds there waiting for this resin to be poured in. And it's a liquid synthetic, which means it's man-made. It's a man-made substance. And they pour it into those molds and it gets hardened. And then they can paint it so it looks just like stone, but it's man-made. It's made of this stuff called resin. So I was surprised by that. First, I thought that they were using this to just practice on. So they would practice on these man-made resin items. But then when I looked in their catalog for their store, they were actually selling these resin pieces. They were pretty expensive too. So I originally thought it was a practice material, but they actually use it for carving things to sell. You
But
can
it
see on the
might
box.
be a bit cheaper than the original ones.
It is cheaper than using real bone or stones, but it's not cheap. It still costs quite a bit of money. And I think that's because most of what they're carving is very intricate. It's not just they're making a round stone and putting a star on it and hanging it on a necklace. It's very, very intricate because they're designs from their culture. So it's a lot of work. And you can see, I think on the green mat, it looks like they're making almost like a sword, but I'm sure it's not a sword. Can you see it there? It looks like some kind of a spike. And then there's one
I
that
guess
looks
that's
very
not
similar.
resin because it looks like a stone one and the red one looks like the resin thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a replica.
Because that red is not usually a color from nature in stones. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, now we're on to the National Weaving School. Shvanch, go ahead, please.
at the National Wearing School, both the males and female students age 18 years and older have the honor of learning traditional Maori weaving technique, quiz the course of study at the wearing school
Weaving
is
school.
weaving school is for 2 years for 40 hours per week, 47 weeks of the year. Weaving students study the weaving on site and all through New Zealand and publish awards as well.
That word is possibly overseas, meaning maybe they go overseas. Would you continue on the right side, please?
Yes. New Zealand flags grows outside these windows at the weaving school's. Wax is the plant with the long narrow leaves on the right side of the picture. Inside the window, wax is displayed on the box to show it in different stages of read- readiness for weaving.
Good job sounding out readiness. Very good. Okay, at the National Weaving School, both male and female students age 18 years and older have the honor of learning traditional Maori weaving techniques. The course of study at the weaving school is for 2 years for 40 hours per week, 47 weeks of the year. Weaving students study and weave on site and throughout New Zealand, and possibly overseas as well. New Zealand flax grows outside this window at the weaving school. Flax is the plant with the long, narrow leaves on the right side of the picture. Inside the window, flax is displayed on a box to show it in different stages of readiness for weaving. Okay, next slide.
Wow.
Maitri?
Yes, ma'am. Strands of flax, including some that are braided, are displayed in the lower front of the display case, while baskets with handles are hung further back. On the right are rows of woven flax that could be used to make clothing.
Mhm. Strands of flax, including some that are braided, are displayed in the lower front of the display case, while baskets with handles are hung further back. On the right are rows of woven flax that could be used to make clothing. Next slide.
I think this is the last one.
This is perfect timing.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Shivansh, you want to read this last one, please?
Yeah, ma'am, which one, ma'am?
This one that's up on the screen right now. This is the last slide for us today.
Strands of wax, including some that one. This.
The weaving
The
of
one that's up on, it has a picture of a woman wearing,
Ma'am, it came, ma'am. The weaving of wax by the Mary who, women began when they arrived in New Zealand. The women already knew who to weave basket and mat, so they just had to learn how to use of the wax that was available in their new homeland. They used musicians to cut the spans, the hard outer surface of the long wax leaves so that the soft near fabric fiber was exposed. They used both the inner and outer fibers to make clothes, fishing nets, foot mats, basket, and rope, etc. They even made raincoats. Wax fiber could be dry and clothing the baskets from baskets were often What, ma'am?
I didn't say anything. Oh,
Row.
my
Row.
phone buzzed. I'm sorry.
Basket were sometimes
Decorated.
discarded,
Decorated.
decorated with shells, feathers, or either other items from nature.
Nature.
Great reading. Okay, let me read this one real quick. The weaving of flax by the Maori women began when they arrived in New Zealand. The women already knew how to weave baskets and mats, so they just learned how to use the flax that was available in their new homeland. They used mussel shells to cut and then scrape the hard outer surface of the long flax leaves so that the soft inner fiber was exposed. They used both the inner and outer fibers to make clothing, fishing nets, floor mats, baskets, and ropes, etc. They even made raincoats. Flax fibers could be dyed, and clothing and baskets were sometimes decorated with shells, feathers, or other items from nature. So look at this Maori lady who is wearing clothing made out of flax. And it looks like it's either dyed or decorated with the darker stripes. Okay, that is it for today, students. I have to thank you. Everyone here has been trying really hard with lots of new words that you probably didn't learn in school because there's so many words to learn, and you've sounded them out and given it a good try. And as a result, I'm sure that your English fluency has been improving. I see it. I hear the difference just in the small time that I've been with you. So thank you for your hard work on this. I really notice it in your speaking.
And ma'am, thank you
Thank
so much for your precious time and guidance.
Well, you are most welcome. I will see you next week.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Bye,
Okay,
everybody.
okay,
Have a
God
lovely
bless.
week.
Okay, may God bless you and have a great week ahead, ma'am.
You as well. Thank you.
Okay, bye everyone.